Hello, potential time travelers. My name is Elijah Beasley. Welcome to a new series I randomly came up with 10 minutes ago that I don't have a proper name for. So for now, I'm just gonna call it Weekday, and maybe I'll change that title in the future. Speaking of future, time travel. Time travel is probably one of the most used tropes in all of science fiction, and who can blame the writers? Doesn't it sound awesome to be able to travel back in time, see historical events firsthand, mess with reality to see what can happen in the future? I've written plenty of stories about time travel, and I'm not even gonna lie, I've fantasized about time travel multiple times. I've fantasized about going back in time and talking with a past version of myself to see how we differentiate. I've fantasized about going back in time and stopping incidents before they can happen, and ultimately bettering my life in the future. I fantasize about traveling back in time and meeting some of my far-off ancestors. I've fantasized about going back in time, interacting with cavemen, and helping jumpstart human evolution earlier than it should have been. But the question I always have is, how would time travel genuinely work? I personally don't believe that time travel in a way where if you travel back in time you can change the future or the past could ever genuinely exist, simply because reality probably wouldn't let you do it. Time paradoxes are too at risk, so I personally think me traveling back in time to stop myself from doing something would just cancel out that thing in particular, or just erase me from existence in the first place. No, no, I believe in a type of time travel simply known as multiverse theory, type of time travel showcased in popular franchises such as Dragon Ball and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a type of time travel where you need to create an entirely new timeline or an entirely new universe in order to time travel in the first place. Example, I conveniently have a time travel machine right next to me right now, a time machine, and I want to go back in time and change what's going to happen today. Like, I want to go back in time and stop myself from waking up this morning. So I jump in that time machine in order for me to stop that version of myself from waking up. Notice how I said version. I need to create an entirely new universe, an entirely new timeline, which won't affect me if I interact with it. So no matter what I do to that version of myself, no matter what I do in that timeline, unless I die, I will never be affected by what happens in that timeline, because I essentially created an entirely new universe with a similar version of me who will most likely go down a different path in reality than what I'm doing now. Now, I always hear people talking about traditional time travel, and while I don't personally believe it exists, I want to just disprove one of the arguments they commonly use. One argument I commonly hear that goes against time travel is, if time travel is real, where are the time travelers now? Well, I'm here to ask you, why the fuck would they be here? It is currently February 23rd, 2022. Of all the years you could possibly travel to using a time machine, why in God's name would you randomly want to turn up here unless something significant happened? Like something happened in your life, or something happened to your family, or something significant is supposed to happen on this exact day that they want to go back in time and stop. Let's pick a random date, like December 23rd, 1957. Nothing particularly interesting happened on December 23rd, 1957 to me. Nothing happened there that I'd be interested in visiting, so why would I randomly want to turn up there unless something related to my family, or me, or something completely random actually happened? And even then, why would they want to act out of place and tell us they're time travelers? While there probably would be a few idiots who would, why would they want to go out of their way to prove themselves as that? Because what do they get out of that? If time travel, where you can affect the future, really exists, I think it would either be completely banned by every country on this planet coming together to make sure no one can do it to mess up reality and possibly ruin the future, or it would be regulated to the point of where if you ever attempted to do something like that, you would immediately be apprehended by time cops and thrown into the time slammer. Now, that sounds really stupid, and in all honesty, I really think it sounds stupid, but come on. Time travel is already a pretty dangerous concept if you think about it. If traditional change the future time travel really exists, me doing something as simple as going back in time and throwing a rock at some random old person's head could somehow lead down a path of reality to where robot overlords rise up and wipe out humanity and somehow get into a war with cyborg cats. Because doing something as simple as that, the butterfly effect, can cause something as disastrous as that. A butterfly simply flapping its wings can cause a hurricane that ends up killing a few hundred people and causing millions of dollars in property damage. Me skipping breakfast can somehow result in a car collision that ends up murdering 17 people, and me having to go on the run because everyone thinks I'm a murderer because I did it on purpose. Reality is a very fickle thing that we barely understand. So if we would have the ability to travel back through reality in a way where we can mess with it, either that shit would be banned, or if you did anything that compromises our reality, they would make sure they got a hold of your ass and make sure you don't do it again. I wouldn't travel back to 2001 with my smartphone in this laptop with a bunch of social media platforms and apps that don't even exist yet, because that would make me look out of place as hell. Everybody would be questioning me because Android smartphones didn't exist in 2001. What I'm trying to say in this weird amalgamation of a video is time travel could be possible in the future, but I don't think we'd ever be allowed to get to that kind of stage without some kind of higher power striking us down to keep us from ever doing it. I personally believe in multiverse theory. I think there have been time travelers from alternate timelines that created ours and decided to come back here, but I don't think they'd go out of their way to out themselves as time travelers unless they wanted something really fucked up to happen. Anyways, that's all for today. See you guys next time. I've been Papa Potato. Peace out.